Hey guys, what's going on? It's Michael Panetta here, and it's time for some news. Now, this is a segment that I used to do many years ago, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome. It was great bringing you guys some of the rumors that were going on, and I wanted to do that again. Now, I'm going to be changing the format up just a little bit. Originally, I would do 3 stories, and I might do that, might be less, might be more, depending on what's going on. And I want to incorporate talking to some other YouTubers as well. Find out what they're doing, what they're up to, any future plans, and just ask some general questions that I think people might want to know. Alright, so first up we've got Samsung, and they have their event this Sunday at Mobile World Congress, where they will be unveiling most likely their new flagships, more than one phone most likely, and whatever else they have coming out, whether it's new peripherals or programs or software or whatever that might be. But the biggest thing to come out of this that everyone's talking about is the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. With the specs being leaked within the past couple days, we haven't had our shortage of leaked images, whether it is a render or actual pictures of the phone out in the wild. Those minimal bezels just look absolutely awesome. However, I'm really excited to see what Samsung does with the Note line coming up, but more on that later. So first things first, the specs for the S8 and S8 Plus. The S8 is going to be rocking a 5.8 inch 5.6 inch rounded corners, something that I guess is new that we're seeing here with the flow of the design that actually enhance the look of it. So that display is going to be Super AMOLED Quad HD. So the camera specs, no surprise here. It's going to be a 12 megapixel rear shooter and an 8 megapixel front shooter, which Samsung cameras have really stepped it up in the years. It's going to be IP68 water and dust resistant. They're going to have an iris scanner. I don't know if this is something that anyone really cares about anymore, but the fingerprint scanner has been so well on phones these days. Is that something they're going to include in this over the iris scanner or incorporated with? I really like fingerprint scanners on the phones these past few years. And it's just something that I think is just second nature. I think they've really done a good job across all companies. So this is going to have 64 gigs of storage and, of course, 4 gigs of RAM. It is rumored that it is going to have the Snapdragon 835 chip in it, along with the battery around 3,000 milliamps. Who knows what Samsung's going to be doing with that, if they want to try to not pack in the largest battery possible after their Note disaster. But of course, that will remain to be seen what they do with that. That is only a rumor for those 2 items. So the specs for the S8 Plus, pretty much identical, with the exception of a larger display. 6.2 inch with that 6.1 inch rounded corners on that. And that's it. Everything else is pretty much identical. Are they going to have a larger battery? Who knows? And we're going to have to wait and see. Of course, there won't be a shortage of announcements at Mobile World Congress. We are looking forward to, or I am looking forward to, the LG G6 announcement. So first up this Sunday is Samsung, wanting to get out of the gate real fast at Mobile World Congress. They'll have their event. We'll be able to finally see the phones and see what they have planned. It's the specs matched up to what we've heard. So that will be fun to watch. I'll be tweeting that if you want to follow me at Tech Examined. I'll put the information down below. So I'm really excited that I have this guest on here today. So I want to talk to you guys and introduce you to him right now. My first guest is someone that I've known for many years already. And Ralphie, welcome, man.
Hi, how are you guys? Hello, Mike. How are you?
For those of you who don't already know Ralphie, his name is Ralphie Cervantes, and he's Ralphie on YouTube. So what was it like working with the larger YouTubers when they first came in as you were interning, like guys like Austin, Lou, Dom, Marquez?
I think I'm always a little nervous when meeting new people, and especially if I've had a relationship prior over the internet. So when I met Austin for this first time, I feel like all I talked to him about was like computers and stuff. And I guess like as I started working here and seeing him more often, I've become like desensitized to that sort of thing. So it was more like talking to him like a friend, like a human being, and not so much like a source of information. And getting to know them on a personal level is a lot more to me than, oh, let's take a selfie with Lou or something, or here, MKBC, sign my phone or something.
Now, when you talked in your Draw My Life, you talked about the shark being pelted with paintball being your favorite video. But since then, what's your favorite video that you've done that you're most proud of?
I think for sure one of my, if there had to be a second favorite video, or maybe even something that competes for first, I think it'd probably have to be the MLG Hermes video with all the Mountain Dew and stuff like that. It was just such a weird video, and obviously like Hermes is a character that I created on the typical basement dweller gamer dude. So when I say these things, not being serious, of course, like I find them funny. So like, there's a ton of takes where I'm just like talking mid sentence and just start busting out laughing and stuff. So it's like really, it was hard in that sense to keep a straight face and like make it seem as real as possible. I think filming a video, I have the mentality of like the consequence. Oh, sorry. I mean, like it does, like the consequences or like the work it's gonna take after to like clean up something like that doesn't matter. Just do it for the camera and stuff. And that's kind of where the me pouring the soda all over myself. And that's not a huge thing, but to me at the time I was like, well, who cares? I'll just clean up the soda after. But like things like that, I feel like made that video one of my favorites to shoot.
So I know you use the A6500 for a lot of the stuff that you do, and it is a killer camera. But I gotta know, what's it like having access to probably the best equipment around to shoot videos?
It's a bit intimidating, like, and I think I'm extremely grateful to be in a position where these tools are available to use for most of the time when there's a lot, like when there's downtime or whatever, I get to use these things. And a lot of the time, my mentality before shooting something is this even worth setting up? Is it overkill? Things like that. Like obviously vlogs are being shot on the A6500. Q&As for the most part are shot on the A6500. But for things that seem a little more kicking up the gear when it comes to production, I think there's no issue on my end with picking up the Red. It took a while to learn like camera knowledge in general before touching the Red and like being confident enough to like use it. I've used the Red enough times, like for shooting Rajon or whatever, on handheld stuff, or just kind of like watching them shoot stuff. I think I've learned enough to the point where it's like I'm confident enough to get the Red set up.
Let's talk about your channel. What do you got coming up that people want to know about? Do you have any new projects coming? Continuing projects? Tell me about your channel a little bit.
With the Ralphie channel, it's business as usual, I believe, and kind of still keeping true to what made the channel approachable or like enjoyable, with Q&As and vlogs and skits like that. And coming up this Sunday, we're starting a new project called Build, Play, Repeat, which right now at least is centered around Legos. And this comes from the Lego videos I did, which actually star you, my friend, in episode 1 and 2. So I think that the passion for that originated from those two films, and we figured maybe if I wanted to do this more often, which I do, we start a new channel for it and have it purely be unboxings, set reviews, and animations from those sets. But that's pretty much it. Kind of like promoting socially, the social handles on Instagram and Twitter, and then also just posting constantly to the new channel. So really looking forward to that, and I'm very much looking forward to episode 3, starring yours truly over here. Yeah, so I'm can't wait.
So I want to thank Ralphie for coming on and let me ask him a couple questions. I have a whole about 20-25 minute interview. If you guys want to see that, hit the thumbs up button. I'll go ahead and post that up on the channel here in a little bit, and that way you guys can see the whole interview. Of course, if you want to get the next one, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. Going to be doing a lot of these kinds of videos coming up in the future, along with a whole bunch of other things. Guys, thank you all so much for the continued support. You all have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.